Hey everybody, Brian Good here on this Good Friday as we head into the holiday weekend. Several things to bring to your attention. First off, high level clouds today. You may have noticed that milky look to the sky. That's cirrus clouds streaming in overhead. You can faintly see them on the satellite image. It's not enough to block out a lot of the sun, just a bit of it. Not a big deal. But if you look carefully, you see a couple blips there just west of Evansville. A few little showers trying to now pop on the radar. And the reason for that is moisture is actually higher. Not excessive, but higher to our west. And when you look at that moisture field, this is where if there's going to be an isolated downpour today that could pop on the radar, this is the general zone that we're talking about, and that's why there's a 10% chance in the forecast today. Otherwise, enough dry air play that we should have a good 30-degree climb from morning to afternoon on temperatures. That's why we're going with 86 for high today. And potential is there for some spots to be maybe a degree or two warmer in our southern and southeast counties. Couldn't rule that out. Record, by the way, is 89. That'll be safe. Different story, though, as we evolve through the weekend. It's a couple of low pressures. One up here to the north is going to help in pulling down the front. That's the easter front's actually up here. So they're going to work together as a team. There's a lot of moving and shaking going on in the next 36 hours to get this front down here, but it is coming down. Now, the severe weather potential will be ahead of the main front, way to our west today. Tomorrow, it's going to be across the Kansas City area. And then they got a marginal out for most of Wave Country for Easter Sunday itself. So let's take a look at how this is all going to play out. First off today, when we look at the 700 millibar level, we do see the moisture certainly right along and west of 65. That's why we're seeing the cirrus clouds, and that's why we're going to get these little isolated downpours when you get into the deeper greens and certainly into the blues. Actual surface dew points, though, which is the reason why we're not going with crazy rain chances, a lot lower. It's got dew points here in the 40s this afternoon. This is the high-res NAM, and 51 down, say, around E-Town. So very dry air, still keeping us safe today. Tomorrow, we begin to even things out a bit. We increase the moisture level to where we have to keep the rain chance in there, but it's all areas, not just to the west, but all areas have a chance for a rogue downpour for tomorrow. And then by the time we get into Easter, the moisture pools, is what we call that, ahead of the actual front. Dew points then get into the 60s. That is certainly primed for showers and thunderstorms, and with dew points in the mid-60s, a lot of lightning. Anytime you get high levels of moisture like that, you can really create quite the lightning show. So a lot of lightning strike potential here for Easter Sunday. As far as instability goes, it's somewhat of a Cape field instability shown up across Indiana. It's not excessive, but there is some there. And when you look at the wind field energy is closer to where the low pressure will be across the eastern Great Lakes, but there is a bit of wind energy. Nothing, again, impressive along the front. So I can see why we're marginal, and marginal is the highest I can really see us going at this point. And these are likely going to be what we call pulse-type thunderstorms. For those of you weather nerds out there, a good parameter to monitor on Easter will be the downdraft cape. Once we get up there close to, say, 1,000 on the downdraft cape, there could be some damaging wind gusts. But these are going to be the type of thunderstorms and clusters that form. They can produce a damaging wind gust in a few cases, and then they collapse, and then they're over with, and then the next one goes up. It'll be that kind of a deal. It's not going to be a severe weather event, but we can't rule out a 1 year or two. Even with this weak setup, I have seen that happen before, especially if you overachieve in temperature. We got a high of 75. If we get into the 80s, if we get a gap in the rain and we get into the 80s, you've then added a lot more cape to the setup, and therefore you can produce the stronger damaging wind potential. So that's something we'll be monitoring. It's just something in the back of your mind there. Now, let's look at Futurecast. It shows a chance for a few showers early in the day on Saturday, or Sunday, Easter Sunday. Wouldn't surprise me, but certainly it's going to be an issue where we begin to heat things up. Notice that the RPM model here is trying to get us into the upper 70s before the initiating storms begin to take shape. Right along the Ohio River, it looks to be where the timing of the front and the magnitude of the day seem to be lining up perfectly. So that's why we get a good, solid rain chance. Now looking into next week and beyond next week, several areas of low pressure moving through. The only one that looks to be perhaps some stronger thunderstorms would be the one Wednesday, the way it looks right now. But looking toward Thunder over Global, there will likely be a warm front. We talked about this last week, or earlier this week. I'm getting confused in my days. That warm front is still in the area as we into Friday and or Saturday. And that's crucial to know where that's located at, because that will determine the wind direction for those of you that are trying to decide which side to watch them on, because we all know the smoke will blow one way or the other. But it also affect the air show on the ceiling if we have a cloud deck in the area. So there's a lot of questions on the warm front side as we head into Saturday. Now, if we get into the warm sector and we time it out just right, where we're fully in the warm sector, in other words, the warm front's to our north, way up here, And the cold front, which we still see this strong area of low pressure moving our way, the cold front still way to our west. If we could just fit perfectly in between the two, Saturday afternoon and evening, it actually will end up being a really decent day, a little breezy, but it'll be a southwest wind. Temperatures will likely be in the 80s, and other than a rogue thunderstorm, mainly dry. But then as we end to Saturday night, we would likely then end up with a lot of showers and thunderstorms moving through. But the timing's everything here. If the warm front's slower than expected, then we deal with the warm front all day. If it moves faster than expected, then we got to deal with the cold front side more than expected. So it's got to line up just right. And this far out, it's impossible to say if that even will happen. So just stay tuned. It's a cliche, but we mean it.